If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have Aleksa Camur back on the show. He returns to action this Saturday in his Octagon debut, UFC 246. He's going to headline the UFC Fight Pass prelims against Justin Ledet. Aleksa, how are you, man?
I'm good. Everything's good.
Good to have you here. Appreciate you jumping on so close to the fight. This is a heck of a way to make your UFC debut, isn't it? I mean, you get a prime spot headlining the Fight Pass prelims. It's back in Vegas. And I guess fighting on a card headlined by Conor McGregor and Donald Cerrone isn't anything to sneeze at either. So this is a pretty nice way to kick off your UFC career, is it not?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm a little nervous, but I think that comes with just going in the cage itself. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the other fights as well, and I'm excited to, put on a show myself.
Are you typically, nervous leading into fights? I'm sure you're about to fight. I'm sure there's, natural nerves that go into it. But does this one feel any different? Would you say the butterflies are a little bit bigger? Or does it feel typically like any other fight?
I think it's typically the same. I think it's good to be nervous. I think it keeps you safe when you're in the cage. So I don't really have a problem with it. Usually, when I'm in there and the cage doors lock, it kind of goes away. So I don't really mind.
Was the timing good for you? I know from our last conversation after you won on the Contender Series that you were pretty flexible in terms of the debut, when it would happen, who it would happen against. Was the timing good for you, or is there a part of you that wishes this happened a little bit sooner?
No, I think the timing's great. It gave me time to just relax and give my body a little break. But I was right back in the gym anyway, so I just started training right away, and here we are.
So it's officially fight week. We're 5 days away from this all going down. Talk about, the preparation specifically, the training camp as you get ready to make that first walk as a UFC rostered athlete. How did everything go? I'm sure you've toned things down a little bit here.
It was tough. It's always tough. It's, you go through a grueling camp. It's just going to be hard every time. But we prepped correctly. We're ready for it. I got a good game plan, got good coaches in my corner, and I'm just ready to go in there and get the job done on Saturday.
So your opponent is Justin Ledet. He entered the UFC on a pretty nice run, 3 straight wins, and then he sort of had to run the gauntlet against these rising light heavyweight prospects in the division like Alexander Rakic and Johnny Walker, and now he gets you. So from a stylistic perspective, what did you think of the matchup when you saw Justin's name on that contract?
He has my respect. A lot of people are like counting him out. He has my respect. He fought two tough dudes in the light heavyweight division, so you can't really count him out. He's a tough dude. But I got a game plan. I'm gonna go in. My plan is to get my hand raised with whatever I gotta do. So, I think it's a good matchup. I think it's a good test for me. I think it's a good first fight. He's a tough dude. I'm tougher. I'm ready to go.
Has this all kind of gone the way you drew it up? I mean, 5 fights into your pro career, you're about to make your UFC debut on one of the biggest cards probably of all of 2020. Is this what you expected to happen when you turned pro, that you'd be here so quickly?
It's a pretty surreal, but it's, nonetheless, I think everything I've gone through prepped me for this point, and I'm ready to go. It is kind of crazy, and it does feel a little fast, but I think like I deserve it, and I'm ready for it.
Who are some of the guys you've been working with in the gym to get you ready for this fight? Of course, Stipe Miocic is a part of your team. Not sure how much he was able to work with you in this camp, but who are some of the other guys you've been getting ready with?
I had Willie Nelson. He's a boxer. I got to work with him a lot. Jeff Hughes. He's a teammate of mine. He's in the UFC as well. Heavyweight Jeff Hughes. Chad Kelly. He's a professional in like the local ranks down here in Ohio, and Jesse Murray. they're all really good dudes, and they helped me out when I needed work. Gave me good work, put me through the whole grind throughout camp, and it's good, man. It's good to have them in my corner, and I love those dudes, man. Great teammates.
Did Stipe pass on any words of wisdom or advice to you, especially being a guy who's been in this spot before? It was a while ago, but now he's once again the heavyweight champion of the world. Have you talked to him about this fight and about this moment? Did he give you any nuggets of wisdom?
He just said enjoy it. A few times he told me to enjoy it. Jeff Hughes also told me, had a few good words to say about it. Go out there, and it's nerve wracking, but as soon as you're in the cage, everything will just settle in. You won't think about anything else.
So we're 5 days away from this fight in this big card, Las Vegas, Nevada, the fight hub of mixed martial arts. We've had a long break from the UFC, so from a fan and a media perspective, we're all fired up for this. How do you see this all playing out? I know you want to get your hand raised, and I guess I should shape this question as, besides getting the win itself, what are you hoping to accomplish in there aside from just getting the win on Saturday night?
Number one thing in my mind is just getting my hand raised. But putting on the show, I guess, making people, having people enjoy the show before that, the big show starts, because it is the McGregor-Cerrone card. So, I'm going to do my best to entertain the people a little bit, and then, get them started with the night on a good note.
When do you head out to Vegas?
I'm heading out on, tomorrow, actually.
There you go. So it's doing the flight to Vegas all over again. So let me just ask you from an analyst perspective, what do you think of the Conor McGregor Donald Cerrone fight? How do you see that one going down?
I don't know. I like them both. They're both great fighters. I have no idea, because I know McGregor's been out for a while, but he's just so precise, and he's just a scientist with his with what he does. But Cerrone's just a tough son of a bitch, and he's just gonna go in and bang. So yeah, they're both tough. They're both good fighters, and I like them both, and I can't pick. I just want a good fight.
I agree with that. It's it's a new year, a big start to 2020 if you count up this weekend. What sorts of goals have you set for yourself this year as an athlete and as a person as well? Is there anything you want to do or do better to make this year as successful as it can be?
I'm just going to train as much as I can, train hard. I don't know. I kind of just play it by ear when it comes to, stuff like that. Never really plan ahead of time. So we'll see what happens. I got good people in my corner in my life, so I'm sure everything will turn out good in 2020.
You are obviously a very humble guy, but looking up and down this roster, it's very exciting right now. It's probably the most exciting it's been in a long time. And of course, we're not looking past Saturday, or we're not looking past Justin Ledet or anything like that. But are there guys in this division that you're excited to share the cage with this year, that get you excited? Someone you feel you can test yourself with after this fight on Saturday?
No one in specific. I see the talent in the division, I'm excited to see what everything has in store for me. But number one thing, got to keep my eyes on the current fight and the current situation. So after that, hopefully I can see what's in store for the next one.
Do you feel like you're as focused right now as you've been for any fight you've had in your career?
Yeah, definitely. I think I am focused. I think I'm ready. I'm ready to get in the cage and get it done. It's been a long camp, and I've been prepping for a little bit now, so I'm ready to go.
Are you able to separate yourself from the fight at all? I mean, I know especially a lot of guys that I've talked to, right when they're about to make their debut, they're so fixated on it that they're not able to separate themselves from it. Even when they're out of the gym, they're thinking about it constantly. Are you able to separate yourself from it, at least for a little bit, and take your mind off of it?
I do. I think I do a good job on doing that. I watch a lot of movies. I've been going to the movies a lot. And then I play just a ton of video games to get my mind off of it. So I do a good job with it. Sometimes I'll catch myself getting a little amped up, for no reason, just not doing anything. But I do a good job of bringing myself down.
What movie should we be seeing right now? What have you seen that sticks out in your
I
mind?
just saw, I think it's 1970. I think that's what it's called. That's phenomenal. I think 1970 is a great movie to watch. And then, I just recently saw the new Star Wars. That one's a must see, so.
You're a big Star Wars guy?
Yeah, I actually just finished the whole thing right before the last movie came up, so I'm a huge fan of it now.
What about The Mandalorian? Have you watched that yet?
I have. I just finished it, yeah.
It's good?
Yeah, I like it. I really do.
All right. You and Grant Dawson, both fighting on this card, have told me that I have to watch it. I have not seen it yet. Grant told me he would give me his Disney Plus subscription to watch it. He says I have to take time and make time for The Mandalorian and watch it. So you agree with Grant there?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Well, we look forward to that. We look forward to seeing you take on Justin Ledet this Saturday in the UFC Fight Pass prelim headliner at UFC 246. Looking forward to this fight. Looking forward to this entire card. Before I let you go, Aleksa, and I appreciate the time very much so close to the fight, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media, any shout-outs or anything else you want to get off your chest. The floor is yours.
You can just follow me at any social media. My first and last name, Aleksa Camur. And, yeah, man, enjoy the fights on Saturday.
I will, man. Thank you. And safe travels to Vegas. All the best to you on Saturday night.
Thank you. Have a good one. Thanks for having me on.